Hi everybody, Bill McCabe, and we're still at the Iron Crane Dojo today. This is, we worked on something today that is so flighty a target, so flighty a topic that I thought we'd film a little bit about it, lest I forget about talking to the point in the future. Okay, so what this is about is in the internal martial arts, there's a way of expressing your ability to acquire power or to manage power, and it has to do with 1 ounce can move 1,000 pounds. And it's all about efficient movement and finding ways so that you can employ a minimal amount of power to maximum effect. Now, the best way to accomplish this, of course, is to develop fantastic power skills within yourself. But then after that, you want to have a very high level understanding of softness so that you can disappear when somebody's trying to apply power against you. And then the third aspect of this is really and truly understanding balance. And we talk to these issues in other films, but we never talk specifically to the power dynamic and the quick and easy way to get a handle on some of the essential elements of how it works. So I'm going to have Sensei Chris visit with us again today. And we're about the same weight. I'll have Francisco come up too. Francisco. His hair is a bit tousled because he was working out a few minutes ago, but it's the workout look. And let's just take, for example, if I want to move Sensei Chris, okay? And I'm a big guy. I weigh well over 200 pounds. And he weighs well over what I weigh. And if I want to move him, I drive my power in a line into his body. If I'm hitting him with one hand, I drive it as hard as I can with one hand. And I put a maximum force on there, on that spot of whatever it takes, 150 pounds or 100 pounds. So I'm not hitting him really hard right now. But if I do it with two hands into a spot, I can move them a lot more readily. Now Francisco comes up, and you can see by way of size comparison. Okay, so when he tries to move Sensei Chris, no, just push. There you go. See, it takes a lot more effort. Okay, and part of that is my body weight is comparable to Sensei Chris's. But Francisco's giving up 50 or 60 pounds, in my case, and relative to Sensei Chris is giving up, 1 or 200 pounds. But all that's just, in jest, of course. We are, I'm like, usually 230 or thereabouts, 220, 25.
Excellent.
Okay. Okay, so here's the first thing you want to get. I mean, what if I'm a female or a child and I have to, do something about this person's physical size? Now, bring it a little bit closer, if you will. The first thing you learn to do is to parse out your power. So, if I was Francisco and I couldn't get 200 units out, but I could get 100 units, per hand. I would take 100 here and 100 here, then I would combine them. I would actually, in my mind, combine them so they're going through the center line. If I put them here, they're working independently. So if I push here, he has the ability to resist. But if I push, and direct it to a center line, I'm compressing my power, and it goes right through him. Okay, but what if I take that same power and I parse it out into even smaller packages so that I'm putting my legs, and you can feel my legs down here, okay? I'm adding my legs to my hands, and I'm getting 4 units, 4 divisions of what was originally a large number, right? Of 200. We split it to 100. Now we're splitting it into 50s, or 4 50s. Each of which is manageable by a person who's small. You can generate 50 from each point of the body. And then you combine them,
Yes, sir.
and it becomes explosive. Okay? And then what you do is you learn to break that down even further within yourself and within your practice. You know, you learn that, okay, I can push out from my center. Okay, or I can roll my hip in with my leg. Okay, and then as this one rolls in, this one rolls back, so the power becomes like a whip. And all those things add a lot of dynamic energy to the power equation. And these are things that are just sort of glossed over by a lot of the schools out there. They talk about power in a direct fashion, which is usually muscular, biophysical energy, or kinetic energy, which is okay. You know, but as you get older, or if you come into the class and you don't have great physical size, you have to come up with other solutions to the power question. And it is possible to get tremendous power. Now I'm going to give you an example of something. In the internal arts, there's a technique called G, or to press. And I mean, basically, in the air, it looks something like this. And what they're doing with this is they're taking all the various points of the body and they're combining that power with soft, relaxed motion so that the power coalesces here. And you have various circles and arches being formed at various points in your body. And you can see it, you know, in all these places on my body, the arches taking their shape as the move unfolds. Okay? So what that looks like, once you understand it, is you're taking that particular architecture or that particular structure for the technique, and you're combining all the essential elements that break that power up from the 200 original units into 10, 11, or 12 smaller points, maybe 13, 14, 15, maybe 20 units. They're now down to 10 each. But they're almost invisible to you. You can barely even feel them. You're definitely not straining, okay? But as he's here, and I put my hand on him, and I relax through this, and I come in, and I move him. You see it. You can do it back to me. So he comes back. All he does is he puts his hand on me, he fires. Okay? Now, would you describe that like being kicked by a mule?
Oh yeah, it penetrates all the way through.
And that's the gist of the lesson. You know, this kind of stuff takes years to get to perfect, and the real important thing is to know that it exists. Because I studied for decades, you know, and none of my teachers, some of whom were great masters, really had any direct awareness of this. They had great power, but it was through a subconscious understanding of how their moves generated power. With this stuff, though, it's very direct and it's very possible. All you have to do is take the time, make an investment in time, and research with your fellow students and your instructor, and see how far down this road you can go. I know you'll be happy. Take care.